but you were the star.
Thank you. I was there. I drew pretty big then. Yeah. Give me more names, Diane. Come on, there's a lot of psychologists. The therapy.
What you used to call the fish man, Stan Groff.
Oh yeah, the fish man. Come on, he used to talk to play with the not the steels. He played with some fish. What the hell?
Oh,
dolphins maybe.
Right, the dolphin guy.
Yeah, the fish man. What's his name? I used to call him the fish man.
Stan Groff is not the guy.
Stan.
Stan.
One more time, Richard.
Stan Groff, is that correct?
Yeah, no, but Stan wasn't the fish man. Stan Groff was into drugs and psychology.
Okay.
But he was there.
Okay.
Anyway,
All right.
was it Maslow there, Diane? Was it Maslow hanging around, or had he finished? You're no help, Diane. Get off the line.
I'm just busy trying to think of who you're thinking of. You know, those were amazing days, and
Coming closer.
yeah.
Yeah.
You know, it wasn't so much who else was there, it was what you were sharing was so far beyond what everybody else was doing, in my opinion, of course.
Yeah. Well, they were, thank you.
Lilly, John Lilly.
John Lilly was the fish man, yeah. Fritz Perls was big time there.
Yeah.
So when I first went, they said, "Oh, you're doing moving Gestalt or something." I didn't know what Gestalt was. So I had to ask them, what the hell is Gestalt? Because I was doing an aspect that the Gestalt could understand, but coming from a whole different place.
Yeah.
Anyway, a lot of big names, good times there.
Yeah. Oh, thank you for that.
Now, am I too loud? I just turned my volume up.
That's much better, Richard.
All right, good. Thank you.
And so we did a variety of work there. Diane will remember. So we did a lot of energy awareness, a lot of different psychic things, trying to get them to see energy, sense energy, look at people and pick up past lives, basic meditation stuff, because that was new. They weren't into meditation yet. They were still coming in off this psychology line, and they hadn't made that shift over to what we call it, spiritual things.
Only the first workshop I attended was called Energy Awareness for Spiritual Development.
Sounds good.
It's the only time you ever used the word spiritual in a workshop write-up. It got me.
Yeah. So.
Also, you know, I think what we used to call, still call centering and energy awareness, now the term mindfulness has become so popular.
We lost you, Diane. Say again.
We used to use terms like
mindfulness. Yeah.
Now mindfulness.
Yeah. So mindfulness is just a new word for stuff we used to do all the time anyway. Sorry.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I'm telling some Aikido people, say, God, we have to attract more people. Well, let's ride their coattails. Say, mindfulness and movement.
Yeah.
That's good. That's good. Well, that was where I came into the thing. Bob had been teaching down at Esalen, and they opened up this class in the city at the Unitarian Church. We didn't have mats. We didn't have a picture of O-Sensei.
Really? We didn't have mats?
We didn't. We didn't. You know, we just came in and hung out and did some Aikido. And it didn't have any of the Japanophile stuff going on that later people got into. So to me, that was very additive. It had nothing to do with this being in harmony with the universe. It had nothing to do with knowing Japanese words or copying Japanese customs. And mind you, I went to every teacher we came through.
Closer, Richard, closer.
I I missed it, Bob. Who's up?
Louder, Richard, louder.
Oh, really? I thought I had fixed that.
Plane is going over.
Oh, okay. At any rate, anybody else want to know anything in particular or got anything you want to talk about? Oh, there I go. My mic turned itself down. I don't know why it's doing that. Anyway.
It knows you well.
Well, do you want to say anything about what you felt like your mission was when you came back from Japan? Because if I may just say, one of the other things that really impressed me about Bob was his commitment to the art, in the sense that, he could have just taken it over, but he brought the other guys in, and he treated them as equals, even though I don't believe they were, either by rank or by understanding. But he brought him in, and he did another thing that I thought was really interesting. They didn't charge huge dan fees additional to the Japanese fees. They didn't put that stuff on. And so Bob said, look, if we build up a big body of money, then we're going to fight over it. So let's just get what we need and keep it simple. He never tried to take over. He did the most beautiful thing of gathering a community that I've ever seen, in a way. And really, even though, it frustrated me because I was so much more drawn to what Bob was doing than any of the other guys, and I studied with everyone. It was just curious to me the way it went, and my concern, and when I heard the channeling of O-sensei's concern, that, and Bob said it, I think, best when he said, Aikido is not a jitsu, but I think that's the way so many people practice it. And so that's why I'm doing everything I can in the time that we have to just help Bob transmit what he brought us, because to me it was so special. And like I said, I didn't run a narrow path. I trained many arts, and I trained with virtually every Aikido teacher that came through the area.
Was there a question in there?
So anyway, I was asking you what you felt your mission was in when I watched that. It seemed so unique to me compared to everyone else's style.
Yeah. I don't know. When I first really started studying stuff, I was doing it for my development. I never, in a certain way, trained to be a teacher, not really. But as I became better at what I was doing, people would ask me, hey, would you teach me to meditate? And I say, I'm not a teacher, something I do with me. But then this began to happen more and more and more. So I finally had to take that job on, or accept that responsibility. So I guess I wasn't out to impress people or to make a bunch of money, unfortunately. Or, it was just something that I felt was there and belonged to everybody. It was and just help people realize there's something there, and that they had access to it. Learn a few things of the trade, but they had access to more, and I guess that became a mission. Okay.
Thank you. This would be.
It's Mike talking. Just in that last session, Bob, sorry, there was a lot of extraneous sound coming through to me as well as Bob's voice. I could hear Bob's voice well enough, but there was a lot of other odd sound coming through. I don't know whether anyone else experienced the same thing. Nope.
No, it was okay with me, Mike, in Melbourne.
Okay.
Yep.
Bob, I've got a question. It's Chris Thorson up in the Northwest. I just recently got a request to do a session on Aikido and death and dying. There's a big retirement community here on this island. So everybody's looking at death. So I'm just wondering what your sense has been about Aikido and dying and even preparation for death.
I think it's coming too close. Ah, for me, through my meditation, I realized that I wasn't who I thought I was. I wasn't the body, for example, where you'd experience yourself separate from the body and stuff. So at that time, the fear of death changed considerably because I knew the body would die, but I still existed. I could still experience and be, for lack of words, me, maybe a better level of me, but me. I'd still be, retain some Nadeau-ishness. I think the unknown scares a lot of people. You know, because it's just going to be one big black hole, nothing. Will I never be able to think again or sense again and stuff? So I think there's a lot of not knowing that scares people. So all these stories you read about somebody dying for a while and seeing light at the end of the tunnel, and even starting to see some friends and relatives waiting there saying, "Hey, welcome." That's basically true. I've always had a relationship with dead people, which came out of nowhere, and I still keep some of that, where I can communicate with people who have crossed over, like Henry Kono, check in with him now and then, see how they're doing, their view on things. One thing to tell the old people who are hurting is when they pass over, the physical pain is gone. I hear that from a lot of folks who have crossed over. Thank God it doesn't hurt anymore. So that's a plus. Yeah, I think if they could get a better sense of what the other side, that's a good deal. If they're screwy or if they're too thick, they sometimes don't even catch that. They don't even cross over. They stay too heavy and they rebirth back. And I think of those people as being a little thick. You want to take advantage of this crossover because it gives you a chance. It gives you a chance to go over some of your past, make some corrections, and then later, if you want to rebirth, you have a better sense of things. So I think people who don't experience that and want to come back too fast are dumb. So I would take advantage of the crossover and develop. I tracked Nicky Scoggins. Those of you know Nicky's an Aikido guy, and he passed. And he was always into acting. And he still wants to come back and be a great actor. But what he's doing there, I haven't checked in lately, but quite a period, he was developing himself, and he was getting finer and brighter and finer and brighter, and just getting a better sense of stuff. So when he comes back, he's going to come back with much more of this inner sense to help him be a better actor than he ever had. That's good work. So he's getting ready, he's practicing to come back and do his mission, which is be a great actor. So to take advantage of the other side, it's a nice resting time for some people. It's a growing time for anybody who wants to be there and be open to how it works. So I don't know how to get this across to the old people on your island, but there's a lot of books that have been written about what goes on the other side. So I don't know if that would help for them to read these books. they could understand a little bit maybe of how the dark works, there might be a lot of, for some people, a lot of darkness, but if they don't freak out, the darkness is just an easy downtime, let's call it. And you go through that, and there's always some new light. So it's a way of traveling. A lot of people around the dark, they get freaky. So if they could understand the dark is not their enemy, it's not a bad guy. It's in the universe, it's there, and you want to use it. You want to be okay with it. It helps them hit the other side better. That's what you can do. Do something with that.
Thank you.
And since they spent 50 of our years on that side, just trying to get those beings to keep developing and moving along. It wasn't easy. Even at that level, they're not the sharpest tools in the shed, as we say. So it depends on the inherent sense of a person. I think if you have made a touch on your truer self, so there's I, ego, me, easy. Who am I really? Who am I really? If my body was gone, who am I? Anything to backtrack yourself. Everybody right where you're at, there's a self there, probably wrapped up with the I a bit, but as you easy the I, self, easy the I, self, you begin to touch this finer level of you that has a lot of memory of things. Right? It was in touching that I realized reincarnation existed, because in touching a better level of myself, I realized I had lived before and could remember, sort of re-experience a bit, previous lives. And that was kicky. That was fun. I used to teach that at Esalen now and then. And so where am I going with this? That if people realize that they have a finer self, and when they cross over, they can still continue training, tracking finer self, and get finer than fine. So since I tried to teach them how to do that, I don't know if we had great success. I think after 50 years, he got a lot of bored with it all and moved on again. So I don't know if he'll be coming back. I don't think so.
The direction I'd like to suggest, hang on. Bring this up again, see if I can hold it here. Bob, I don't know if this is even a reasonable question or a fair question, but you know, what I wonder is what your wishes are in terms of what you leave, what I say we do with what you left. I always told Bob I probably would have been his heir, except that he'll live longer than I do. So for those of us who are still going to be here, what would you like to see?
Yeah, I'm a little bit of the mind that they're going to do what they're going to do. And to leave with a bunch of expectations and stuff, I don't think I want to do that. I hope you catch on further to who you really are and how the universe works. That'd be nice. But I'm not going to go crazy over it. Or what I say is, I'll be back. Meaning, this is a long, drawn-out journey for mankind. So I don't want to have great expectations. Do with it what you can. Do the best you can. Sorry.
No, that was helpful.
Was it? Okay. Sounds a little maybe uncaring or something, but
I think, let me check my volume here so you can hear my dogs better. I think that those words were really helpful in terms of each of us becoming who we were more, or understanding ourselves and understanding the universe more. That's good. I appreciate that.
Okay. Now, Richard,
Yes.
shoot your dog.
I'll shoot myself first, but you know how that is.
Let's say the Aikido. Okay, Aikido. How I would like to see Aikido is that we practice in relationship to how the universe works. If you have a tight eye, you're controlling the techniques. Easy the eye refers to who are you really? Easy. Return back to a finer level of yourself. Easy. Who am I? And as that eye gets a little clearer, certain things become a little more obvious, like, oh, there is balance, for example, or there is maybe a sense of harmony. Okay, so that if we,
You're good.
Okay, so if we were to practice with a sense of ease of the eye, so basic harmony can begin to show, left and right. See, Aikido, we do left side and then we do right side, or vice versa. We allow both sides. Well, in a lot of martial arts, that's rare. Usually you're a right-handed fighter, okay? But we do both sides. Why? To facilitate the balance, so the eye can, through the balance, become a better eye. See, we do a lot of balance, but I don't think we do enough. My fault too, not stressing it enough in class. Of, okay, now who are you? We have much better balance. Now, who are you at this level? Okay. And then we continue. The balance levels get better left and right. Okay, back to, now at that level of balance, who are you? What's your sense of yourself? Okay. Then we continue. We go a little bit bigger. Okay, now it's all receptive and it's all positive. Okay, and that's not me. I do positive. It's I easy and let receptive and let positive. Okay. Why? Because again, those are two forces, and if we let two forces, this sense of the self can get better. Yeah? And it's like that, and more and more and more and more. So Sensei talks a lot about two. Talks about parents in our advertisement for the CYO. I think he said something about, I forgot what they wrote, but you know, you're the child of these parents. And so parents in this case is just a big sense of left and right, or a big sense of receptive positive, or a big sense of he, she, he. Okay. And anytime you get balance, you can get a better sense of yourself, better sense of the harmony. Okay. So I'd like to, would like to see the Aikido continue a little stronger in those lines, as opposed to, I got to get better at getting you. Hell, go do any other martial art. They do that. What makes us different? So if we're doing Aikido like other martial arts are doing there, we're not doing Aikido. We're just doing another thing. So should have a little different flavor. Don't know if that came across well.
Well, if I may, I don't want to stop anyone else if they have a question or anything, but I would just say, great. So what is it that is unique about Aikido? What is the essence of what we should be noticing, paying attention to, besides twisting wrists?
That in there should be a personal development or a personal awareness of who you really are. Easy the eye. It's a finer sense. What's your sense of things?
It's Mike.
Mike?
And also, does that expand to include a better understanding of your partner or your uke?
Yeah, let's see where to go with that. That would be, of course. Let's see if there's any particulars. Yeah, they're coming in with energy. Okay. And because you're more squared away in the realm, the world, situation you're in, that balance, that squared awayness should begin to happen more naturally. Well, since they tried to simplify it at one time, he said, when they step in, you step back. If they step back, you step in. Well, that wasn't an I do this. That was, this is how the law worked. If that's going back, this moves in. If this moves in, this goes back. So of course that is going to include uke. So it's just a little bit bigger picture. So I do my first personal left, right balance, whatever. And then as it broadens out a bit, then of course the world I'm in is part of this. And the harmony is in that world also. That includes uke. Yeah. In today's class, and I may stress when I go to New Zealand a bit, is this a little more emphasis on how to be a proper uke. To get people more familiar with the positive receptives of the system. So I'm positive, and now it's changing, and you're starting to take it over. I should fully be receptive. Okay, I think there's a bit of a disharmony in some way people train. I come in positive, it shifts. Okay, they're getting my arm, and they go, no, I don't want to hear what you have to say. I'm going to block you out. But it's time to be receptive. It's time to be positive. It's time to be receptive. I want to get that understanding of uke's role, R-O-L-E, a little bit clearer. I think we should take advantage of the law of balance more in our training. And from what I see, there's a lot of bizarre shit going on with ukes. They don't know how to uke. They have strange ideas about ukeing. Like, no, you got to force me. But we should also be there to feel that, to be part of that harmony of positive, receptive, positive. So anyway, I'll do some, quite likely I'll do some work on that because it's been coming up a lot lately.
Well, I for one, Bob, would appreciate that, being able to experience that process a little more when we're all in New Zealand with you. So, yeah.
We're going to head towards wrapping it up, but certainly want to encourage anyone if they want to ask or say anything as we move towards closure.
I was going to ask again, Bob. We're defined as a martial art, and that's fine. But for the people out there outside of Aikido, martial art means fighting. That's what it means, because all the other martial arts, to varying degrees, are basically looking at fighting. And, well, my thought is that we're not a fighting art. Are we fighters? Because you used that term earlier in the conversation. I was just curious, and I just wondered how you thought about it.
Seems like you can be. If it's time to fight, you're going to be fully there as a fighter.
Right.
A lot of people learn fighting things, but they don't have the guts for it. They're not fully there. So a lot of stuff they learn is not very effective. fully there as part of it. A friend of mine did way back when, radio interview. He was an Aikido. And so the calls were coming in. And there were a lot of calls from people who didn't know martial arts, but in a confrontation on the street, they kept their cool and it worked out. Somebody else called who had studied martial arts and he screwed up. It didn't work out for him. So people were catching that there's a certain way of being where you may not need to throw punches. So there's that aspect of it too. Did I?
Yeah, no, that was good. That was good.
And here's one I use. I sometimes get invited to go to a jiu-jitsu convention or something. And sometimes I get a chance to say that we're a bit different what we're studying. We're dealing with energies that create anger and lash out and stuff. And I usually bring up something like, it's not right that you beat up on your wives. They're martial artists, but they get pissed. They hit their wives. And when I mention that, the ladies in the audience go, yeah. And I see a couple guys go, oh, shit, do that. They can't control themselves. So what good that they can throw some punches? They can't control themselves. So that's what I stress. I don't say I'll macho with you. I point out things that they have trouble with and say, this is what we work on. Okay? And these days, martial arts, I don't know, I'm a little bit crazy too. You want to be the best, but there's always somebody better. How long does the world champion stay the world champion? He gets beat the next year. So he's not the best anymore, you know? How far are you going to go with this? I don't know. Or it seemed to me, I would get more injuries training to be that way than anyone could inflict on me in an attack. You really train, you get racked up. You know, you're breaking bones and shit, you know. So I get into a fight. He knocks me out, but I don't get any bones broken. Hey, that's better than training martial arts. So I don't compete with them. We do something different. And I explain what we're doing. And if they want to use Aikido and include it in their martial arts repertoire, I say, well, that's cool. We'll teach you to be more centered. We'll teach you to be more aware. We'll teach you to harmonize a bit better, so you'll be a better fighter. So take what we have to offer. Jack Wada was watching some very famous kicker, and the guy was trying to lay out more like this, and the students couldn't quite understand what he was talking about. Jack thought it was a brilliant layout. It was a beautiful piece of work. He was talking more like we would talk, but to an audience they couldn't understand him because they were kickers, and they couldn't understand this guy's top of the line kicker, but they couldn't understand where he was coming from. It wasn't kicking the kick. It was something else. Somebody's been posting some comments from Bruce Lee. Yeah. Some beautiful shit there. He sometimes explains some stuff better than no Sensei did. Well, Sensei could wax poetically. Anyway, he said some good stuff. Really deep, insightful stuff. So, whatever. Also, in common sense, I've known guys from every art to take on 4 attackers and drop them. Every art. If that helps you any. Judo guys, bang. Karate guys, bang. Aikido guys, bang. Who's better? Who gives a shit? If I'm really a judo man, I don't care if you think your art is better. I love judo. I'm going to continue with judo.
But it seems then, sorry, to me that in trying to sell the art to get new students, new members, to spread the word, we've got to package it differently in terms of what we're advertising and marketing. Because for non-Aikido people, they still have these pictures of, you know, if it's a martial artist, it's Bruce Lee, it's, you know, it's.
Well, they won't come in Aikido anyway, if that's what they really believe.
Well, I guess that's true.
They're going to go to mixed martial arts or whatever. They're not going to come to Aikido. They're going to walk in once, look, and walk out. Come on, what are you talking? You got to sell what you're selling. And if they're interested in that, they'll go, oh, and they'll stay. Or you try to talk martial arts to these 20-year-olds, they just want to go out and wrestle around and stuff. They're not going to stay with you. They won't even sign up. They won't even watch a full class. Don't you know that?
Well, I know there, oh, excuse me.
Say what, Richard?
I know there is a lot of interest, certainly in building up the dojo, because a lot of us made a living off it, or if you could call it a living. But
A lot.
but I think there's also the I don't know what I want to call it, wish or something that somehow we could unlock the magic of what when he said it's medicine for a sick world. I think the spirit of harmony seems so critical. Of course, it's so divisive here in the States at this time, you know, that just, it's like people can't talk to each other if they see things differently. And I think somewhere in the Aikido training, there's something for that, but I'm not sure how we translate it into the world or give the gift to the world.
Okay. Okay. One thing right now doesn't seem, I'm not speaking for the whole world, but from what I see around, it's not a high time for Aikido. There was a time, Richard, you remember Turk Street. Diane remembers Mountain View, where we'd have 3, 4, 5 people watching a class, and a couple of them would sign up. And this happened week after week after week. I haven't seen 5 people watch a class since forever. And to get one person to sign up is exciting these days. Holy shit, I had a sign up last week. Oh, it's not a high time for Aikido. What to do about it? I don't know. Back to ride the here-ness. What's here-ness? Mindfulness. Oh, we're mindfulness on the move. Pick up the mindfulness, people. It's not a high time for Aikido right now, for whatever reason.
Well, we're about 75 minutes in, and there's no reason we have to quit or continue, but I'm thinking if you're all ready, let's go ahead and wrap it up, unless there's any last thoughts or comments, please.
Danny here. Can you hear me? Danny.
A little bit louder, Danny.
Danny, we can hear you.
Yeah, well, the thing about growing the dojo and that, I first and foremost, for me, it's accepting how things are here and now, and being grateful for the people that do come in the dojo and continue to train. And like everyone else, I'd love to see the dojo build up, but I have a sense of what Shihan's saying. It's not the time. You don't hang your washing out when it's pissing with rain, kind of thing, you know. The timing's not right. And like you guys, I can remember lots of people coming in the dojo and checking it out, joining up. Some would, some wouldn't. And it's just not so easy right now. And I think we need to, you know, if we can find the right language that touches people, then we'll get them in the dojo. it's getting that message to them is the key, I think.
Yeah, and to do the best you can in what you're teaching, improve your teaching capability, learn shortcuts so they can learn better, and do that when there's 2 students, which is a bitch. But
Yeah.
do that. See, I always remember the story about O-sensei. There's an early morning class, and O-sensei would go, and there'd be 1 kid. And O-sensei, better man than I, Gunga Den, would stay and train with that 1 kid. Can you imagine this master training with an 8-year-old, one-on-one? Holy shit, what was he doing? Because I'm hard pressed to do that. I dragged the kid to the coffee shop with me. So when I walk into a dojo and there's 2 people, I go, okay, here we go. Now I've got to realize I'm training me with these people.
Yeah.
And hang in there. It's not easy.
Thank you for that, and certainly looking forward to the visit.
Yeah.
To New Zealand. We'll make your bed up soon.
Looking forward to seeing you. Let me thank you, Bob, so much for spending this time with us. And
Well, thanks for
I
asking.
want to thank all of you for coming and joining us. But I really want to extend the special thanks to Kenny, who did the heavy lifting and, drove down in the rain and set up the technical. So thanks, everyone. Maybe we'll do this again if you'd like. We'll see you soon.
Thank
Lovely.
you.
Thank you.
Sounds great.
Thanks, Kenny. Thanks, Richard. Thanks, Jihan.
Yeah, thanks very much.
See you soon. Bye.
Thank
Bye.
you, Jihan. Bye.
Cheerio.
Bye.
Don't leave late. You done?
Thanks again.
See you all next time.
Bye-bye. Hey, Kenny, there you are. Hey, man.
For everybody, so everybody should know he's recorded the data. So
Yep.
thank you so much.
Cool.
Bye-bye.